The highest rated anime of the season have been sentenced to the sad solitude of strike. The most popular are prehended to the prison of Netflix purgatory, and with the most popular series that Crunchyroll does have this season taking a bit of a neutral stance towards open and unrepentant pedophiles, you may be wondering if there's anything outside of some great second seasons that are worth checking out on there. I'm delighted to inform you that a hidden gem is going shamefully underviewed this season. The 42nd most watched series of this season according to my anime list, Mahojin Guru Guru. For reference, Second Look gave the proper reaction to receiving this enlightenment at my hands.
You genius! 10 seconds in and I'm already dying. I'm dead. You've killed me.
There are some analytical nuggets to be teased out of Mahojin, and I am a shameless tease, but the most breathtaking element here is the euphoria-inducing visuals on display. These backgrounds have such a bright, charming storybook quality to them, the designs are so innocent and endearing, and oh my word, the animation! This series is being produced by Production IG, and the talent they possess takes full advantage of these simple, easy-to-animate designs to give us what seems like constant motion. It's a retro aesthetic with modern production capabilities, and it is stellar. One of TV anime's most defining stylistic factors is an economy of motion that, while not universal, means most productions will have long periods of people just standing around and talking. But Mahojin Guru Guru pulls out its 30-foot-tall slingshot and launches that notion into the fucking stratosphere. I was honestly in disbelief of how constantly stuff is going on visually in this series. It possesses the same incessant youthful energy of its heroine Kukuri, and refuses to sit still for a second. As of episode 1, it may be more visually hyperactive than Trigger's Little Witch Academia was, and it certainly subscribes to that studio's general visual philosophy of refusing to compromise on keeping you visually engaged. As you'll come to see is the case for most of its elements, this facet of the series is used incredibly precisely for how manic and raucous Mahojin is overall. The anime is very deeply entrenched in the RPG tropes it wrings so much comedy out of, so of course the Elder Witch must deliver her expository monologue about the state of the kingdom, but the series seizes upon that opportunity to be telling a completely separate story all while that's occurring. The constant animation isn't just in the form of flashy slapstick. During this monologue, we instead get nuanced character acting as these kids zone out and start making puppy dog eyes at each other, laying the entire groundwork for a relationship between them without a word needing to be said. And on the subject of character, why in the hell is there such effective characterization in this show? Without exaggeration, it's up around the top 5 series this season in terms of getting me emotionally invested in its characters. Certainly better than 90% of the other shows it's up against, and it doesn't need to be. This is a comedy with a breakneck pace. Gags are assaulting you constantly, but it manages to tie these gags into meaningful characterization, and so give that to us on top of everything else. We get a procession of antics as the protagonist's parents try to force him to pursue the role of hero, since everyone in this world, or 46% of them at least, wants to basically be Link it seems, and among them is his own father, who was not afforded that opportunity because our Ganon parallel was still in some kind of sealed slumber back in his youth. You really feel for this guy because of the lengths he's gone to in order to prepare to try to vicariously live this dream through his kid, to the point of having prepared this for the day of your departure. Or how about Kukuri's far greater concern for the aesthetics of her equipment than its actual effectiveness? Hilariously and adorably playing off of RPG player tendencies. She'd definitely be into fashion souls. That after fueling multiple gags, gives us this heart-melting moment where instead of buying a sword, our hero settles on the dagger so he can also afford this little flower charm for her. And to give you a frame of reference for the pacing here, that moment is squeezed between 2 gags, at least one of them being laugh-out-loud worthy in my viewing experience, that are only 20 seconds apart from each other, and still manages to have its emotional impact. Everything here seems to have been thought through, from the pixelated effect on anything that gets zoomed into, to something I only just noticed upon revisiting this first episode. Nikkei's little combat maneuver that he uses to fend off his dad being the same one employed against the hero candidate that picks a fight with him later on. A one-off line of dialogue reveals that this was a result of his father's training. The fact that his father isn't just some crazy joke character with the gag being that he's trying to get his son to be a hero, but instead someone who is legitimately invested enough in that to have equipped his child with the skills necessary to have a chance at actually achieving that dream goes a long way towards humanizing the guy. There's so much more goodness to get into, but I think I've laid out most of the underlying mechanics of what makes that work, and I want you to go out and experience as much of it for yourself as possible. Mahojin Guru Guru is animated joy in one of its most pure manifestations, and such joys need to be spread around the anime community as widely as possible. I've done what I can to signal boost it here, and I hope you'll go out and do the same. And before I depart, I'd like to introduce my new segment, No Netflix News. All the news that's fit to make you say, no, Netflix. A few days ago, we found out that Netflix will be waiting until some undefined point in time in 2018 to release the most popular anime of the season, Kakegurui. Yes, Western fans will have to wait until half a year after their Japanese counterparts to watch one of the most relevant shows right now, and will be forced to miss out on that peak relevancy if they want to avoid breaking the law. The huge role that simulcasting anime played in helping to bring back the Western anime industry after its collapse in the late 2000s, fueled by a failure to recognize such demand, has been well documented, but apparently Netflix missed that history lesson and would like to take us back there. And really, the only response you can have to that, if you don't want to have your video demonetized apparently, is no! Netflix! And this just in, we've now learned that the highly anticipated upcoming series Violet Evergarden has been licensed by Netflix as well, and so may very well get its Western release delayed in the same manner. Many other YouTubers allude to this vaguely in some cheeky manner. I'm saying it outright. I'm not currently subscribed to Netflix. As an anime fan, I would be paying to access their anime if they were actually willing to give it to me in a timely manner, and if Violet Evergarden receives this same delayed release, I will be watching it as it comes out, and that will not be occurring on Netflix, so they won't be getting any of my money. I'd certainly appreciate getting a little bit of your money, and can guarantee you that support will allow me to reduce the delays that occur between releases of my own content. Every $1 supporter is a huge help, so everything is appreciated. And of course, Car Keys, Skylar Morrow, Naruto64, Magic Dragon, Mackenzie Knowles, Keiko Cat, Christian Emery, Presto Puma, Laugher Style, Omi Fomi, Garbage Burner, Ducky, Donut, Sam Velociraptor, Capsize, Shoko Asahara, Lord Liquid Bacon II, Izumi69, Kieran Rice, Valkion, Tincho37, Taktoa, Cherry Boy Writer, Mathwiz97, Joji Matthews, Culver James Kamai, Chris Wagner, Shofty, Zardos Tenjin, Logan Romke, Zeria, Macaulay Wentz, Sakamoto Mio, and all of my other patrons have my appreciation for doing so already.